Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with SmartOptionTrading.com. It is Friday, the 17th of December. This is your weekly recap, goes out to members and everybody out there for free. You want to join us for real-time commentary, analysis of the market, trades, see what's going on with option flow and news. Come over to Smart Option Trading, click on live alerts, and you can sign up for just $25 for the first 30 days. Try us out, join us in private Discord and our Twitter feed and Zoom, and just understand what we do and how we do things. It's a great way to get to learn. You'll learn a ton while you're here. All right, let's go into today and this week. And I'm going to say this in a very nice way. This was probably one of the toughest trading weeks we have seen in this market in, God, I think trading during the pandemic when we were in the height of the falling was easier than this. This week has been tough. This week's been very, very difficult. You can see here, really been going sideways now as we came off the lows for the last 2 weeks. If you look at this week, we had the Monday we opened up, went down. Tuesday we pushed up. Wednesday with the Fed, we had this huge rally, closed across 470. Everybody's saying this is it because they bought it. Big volume in. We gapped up on Thursday. We actually put a new all-time high in pre-market on Thursday. If you look at the 5-minute chart, you can see this 474.86, but we didn't hold it into the open. And then we sold off like mad again yesterday. And here we are today down, trying to hold the 50-day into the close on the SPY. What's going on here this week, guys, is you had the quad witch. It is the last big trading day of the year. What I mean by that is, barring news or events, the big traders, the fund managers, the big ones are done for the year. They're resetting their portfolios this last week ahead of what they want them to look like as we go into 2022. Speaking of which, I'll be putting a link out this week for my 2022 Outperform Name and Market Outlook. So that'll be coming up and be ready sometime just before the end of the year. As we talk about that, they're going to be done. They're resetting, they're rebalancing their portfolios. And we have the big rebalance on the close today, which will be wild. So overall, the market here is saying meh. And we continue to see the same type of stuff. Growth's been generally out. They've been not wanting anything to do with tech. And overall, this 470 area is proving to be a very, very tough nut to crack. If you take this out and say, well, what else is going on out there? What's going on? Let's look at the VIX. The VIX didn't go anywhere this week. Not like the spike we had last week, right? Nothing going on here on the VIX 2 weeks ago. The QQQs here, they've been weaker, below the 50-day, trying to hold in a little stronger today, just showing some strength. The IWM, you want to talk about a razor thin kick save today. 210 has been this very strong area that has held all year. And boy, it came down and kissed it today and bounced off of it. So it had a strong bounce there. You take all this aside, not easy. I was swinging some Microsoft and Apple calls off of the Fed. I took the loss on the Microsoft calls as an FYI because it's just getting beaten up too much and just cannot hold its bounce here. I'm still in Apple because I believe if there's any name they're going to bounce the next 2 weeks, it's going to be Apple, and I have more time there. It has to get back above the 8-day, and you can see the 8-day sitting in here right there at 173 area. You take all this aside, the banks, they gave a huge bounce yesterday, and then they dumped them like mad today. This market right now is very moment by moment. Look what they did to JP Morgan, absolutely destroyed. What they want today, they want nothing to do with tomorrow. And that makes for a very, very tough trading environment. The good news is here, as we're heading into next year, it's time to start looking for, what we want and what they had to reposition. There's been a lot of talk about value plays. They love value plays, and they've been rotating into them. The one thing I'll tell you is at some point, these growth names are going to become so attractive, they're not going to be able to resist them anymore. And they're going to come screaming back for them. So as we go into the last 2 weeks of the year, we start looking for the melt up. A lot of you guys are going to say Santa time. Yep, Santa rally is coming. But if you don't know, Santa rally doesn't start until the last 5 trading days of the year, which this week starts on the 27th of December. There is no holiday, by the way, for New Year's this year because it falls on a Saturday. Won't be one next year because it falls on a Sunday. Also, what's going on here is we have a short week next week. Next week, we are closed on Friday, so you have a 4-day week. Just keep that in mind as you move forward. If you were looking for strength this week, the strength was in the big bio, big fat cap bio. Pfizer had a strong week. Merck today was up nicely here, a little bit of a bounce. J&J was looking strong until they had news about the CDC not wanting to recommend their vaccine anymore. Lily had a big time week here, strong week, pulling back here a little bit there. Abby, thank you, Jarrell. That's another good one in the room, right? Abbott. So a lot of strength in these big biotech names. We were watching IBM today. I didn't trade it, but right at this gap, pulled into it, just pulled back under it. That has a pretty looking gap as we go into next week. We'll keep an eye on that. Roblex also looking at that gap here, trying to strengthen up today, seeing a little bit of action there as well. Tesla. So if you guys are not aware of what's going on there, a little bit of info for you. Musk now, so Tesla's entered their blackout phase. Employees are no longer allowed to sell stock until after earnings unless they file the appropriate paperwork. So Musk may have, we don't know, but if he hasn't, then he's done selling for the year and into after earnings. If he has, he can sell whatever he put on paper can be sold during these times on specific days. That said, guys, going to next week, I look for the market to try to find its footing. You're going to probably hear a lot of talk about Omicron variant this weekend. I live in New Jersey, in the New York area. It is raging here. Oh, we're seeing big numbers here again at this point. And there's going to be a lot of, we're going to call it fear porn, right? It's a good word for it, you guys use in the room out there. I think you see how the market takes it this weekend, how it reacts and goes. The good news I will tell you as somebody who lives out here, there's no talk of shutting down or locking down at this point, just asking everybody to wear masks, be more careful, limit their exposure. So we'll see where we go next week. I still think the Santa rally is coming. I will go on record as saying that again. And then I think next year gets interesting. So stay tuned. You'll hear more about that into my 2022 outlook. Everybody have a great week and enjoy yourself. Happy holidays to everybody taking next week off. And I'll be here live on Monday morning with you guys.